Okay, good morning and good afternoon and good evening to everyone joining the call. Hopefully our attendees are starting to come through from the waiting room as we begin. I'd just like to start by introducing myself. I'm Denise Whitehead. I'm the Development Manager of the World Technology Universities Network. I'd just like to say a really big thank you to our chair, our guest speakers and online attendees for joining us today, whether it be first thing in the morning with those of you joining sort of from the west of GMT. I think over in Calgary is the earliest that we've got joining us this morning, all the way through into the Philippines, so getting very late into your evening. So really do appreciate you taking the time for joining us here today to celebrate International Women in Engineering Day as part of a WTUN or World Technology Universities Network event. In brief, the INWED, which was started by the Women's Engineering Society, is celebrating its 12th year in 2025. And for those of you that are joining us today, you will have seen that their chosen theme for this year is Together We Engineer. International Women in Engineering Day gives women engineers around the world a profile where they are still under or hugely underrepresented in many regions. For example, if we take the UK, 2021 figures, which are the most recent that were cited by INWED, suggest that only 16.5% of engineers in the UK are women. And as the only platform of its kind, INWED's goal is to play a vital role in encouraging more young women and girls to take up engineering careers. So for those of you who might want to find out a little bit more about INWED and the Women's Engineering Society more broadly, I'd encourage you to check out their online resources, especially for those of you working directly with outreach and engagement with women and girls into education, higher education. So the World Technology Universities Network, of which all of our speakers today are affiliated via membership of their universities and member universities of the network, is a global network of 20 technology universities, and we're proud to support this mission today. Our diverse membership at the WTUN is united by a commitment to the inclusive advancement of sustainable scientific and technology teaching and research, and each of our member universities demonstrates a commitment to truly equitable innovation for the benefit of people and place. Our WTUN member universities deliver teaching, research and innovation which has a direct benefit to people and society and drives technical and social innovation and entrepreneurship, developing graduates with the aim to create global citizens who are capable of being the leaders of the future. Our members work closely with local, national and international government, industry and other organisations, promoting interdisciplinary cooperation and hopefully having a demonstrable impact worldwide. Please may I thank the chair for today's event, Dr. Sara Rai. Dr. Rai is Associate Professor in Project Management for Development at the University of Bradford in the UK. Dr. Rai is a researcher and practitioner specialising in project risk management, humanitarian logistics and crisis response engineering. She's been an active contributor to the Association for Project Management's APM Risk SIG, where she has advocated for broader representation and the application of advanced quantitative tools in managing uncertainty in volatile contexts. She is an associate professor in project management and has edited the book on project risk management, in addition to numerous publications in this relevant area. In addition to chairing today's session, Dr. Rai will also deliver a talk titled Engineering Uncertainty, Women Leading Risk Management and Humanitarian Logistics in a Time of Crisis, where she'll explore the integration of quantitative risk modelling in humanitarian logistics and disaster response, a field where engineering, data and human resilience intersect. I will allow her to give you a bit more of a background on that when the time comes. So for more on that later, but for now it gives me great pleasure to hand over to today's chair. So over to you, Dr. Rai.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here and spare some time in your busy schedule to be here. Thank you so much, Denise, for organizing this and gathering us together. A very warm welcome to today's WTUN webinar in celebration of International Women Engineering Day 2025. As Denise mentioned, I'm an associate professor in project management in University of Bradford. It's a privilege to chair this important event on behalf of the World Technology University Network. This year's theme is #Together We Engineer. is both a celebration and a call to action. It invites us to recognize the power of collaboration, inclusion, and innovation in shaping a better future, one where women in engineering are not only visible, but central to solving the world's most urgent challenges. Across the globe, women are leading bold transformations from climate resilient infrastructure and humanitarian logistics to smart material, soft robotics, and agricultural technologies. Today, we're honored to bring together a truly global panel of engineers, researchers, and innovators who embody this spirit of resilience and ingenuity. Throughout this session, we will celebrate the contribution of women in engineering, acknowledge the global impact of INWED 2025, share diverse perspectives and best practices aligned with this year's theme, and create space for open dialogue through a Q&A exploring the lived experiences of women in the engineering sector. Our speakers today represent different disciplines, regions, and life journeys, but what connects them is a shared commitment to shaping engineering as a more inclusive, impactful, and equitable field. You can find the full speaker biographies and abstract on our website, and I encourage you to explore their works further. We hope today's event will inspire, challenge, and energize us all, whether you are a student, a staff member, a researcher, or a practitioner, because building the future of engineering means building it together. Thank you again for joining us. Now I'm delighted to introduce our first speaker. Sorry if I pronounce your names wrong. Just please let me know if it's too drastically different from what your actual name is. Richa Bhardwaj is a principal investigator for Center for Innovation and Research in Advanced Manufacturing Material from Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. Her title is Mitigating Urban Heat Island with Smart Material Towards Cooler and More Resilient Cities. Thank you very much. Richa, the floor is yours. You're on mute, Richa.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, and we can hear you now. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me start with this presentation. So I'm Richa, and I work at CIRAMM, which is a Center for Innovation and Research for Advanced Manufacturing and Materials. It's based in Calgary, Canada, as part of Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. And today my presentation is about mitigating urban heat islands with smart materials. So before I start with this one, let me give a little bit of background about myself. I was born and raised in Hamirpur, India. From same place, I did my bachelor's in technology and civil engineering. For my master's, I went to Texas A&M University in College Station, USA, in which I worked on concrete pavement joint and used image analysis for their quality inspection. For my PhD, I was in UIUC, University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. There, I worked on concrete pavements for urban heat mitigation through smart materials, which can be applicable for broader climates and broader regions. Currently, I'm at CIRAMM, which is in Calgary, Canada, and I'm working on 3D printed concrete and concrete pavements with goal of making low carbon infrastructure and having sustainability in our cities. So I will just start with the definition of urban heat islands. So urban heat islands are basically when cities are hotter than their surrounding rural areas. So in cities, we have more concrete, asphalt, buildings, more human activity, because of which heat get more retained in urban areas. So as we can see in this graphic, as we move away from rural areas, more and more uh, temperature is there for surfaces, more and more uh, temperature is for air. So this is happening because we're replacing natural surfaces like grass, trees, etc. with concrete and asphalt. And all this retains so much heat that it becomes higher than the surrounding rural areas. And this, like different cities are affected differently by UHI. It's been observed all across the world. For example, in Madrid, it's 8.5 degrees Celsius. That means it's 8.5 degrees Celsius hotter than the surrounding areas. So in different cities, we have different intensity of urban heat island. And we can see from this graphic, this issue has been this problem has been observed all across the world, and even within the cities. Even within the cities, there is a variation among the where UHI is more and where UHI is less. Even within the time, there is variation in UHI. For example, daytime urban areas and nighttime urban areas, they're hotter at different location. Similarly, seasonal variations. So different seasons may have different UHI requirements. And we may need more urban heat mitigation in summer, or for certain location, we may need it for all across the year. And there's some influencing factors which heavily impact this urban heat island. For example, vegetation cover. So greener the city, the cooler the city. Climate type, it's more prevalent in tropical climates as compared to Mediterranean climates. Artificial surfaces, like how much road is there of concrete, asphalt, how much population density is. Greater population density increase urban heat. Street geometry, building density. So if these factors lead to low ventilation in urban areas, then we have more urban heat. Similarly, air pollution, it also exacerbates this problem of urban heat. Water bodies are great solution to reduce urban heat. They cool their surroundings. High traffic also increase the urban heat. And all these factors have negative impacts. All this heat that is being generated in the city is impacting human health, psychological factors, physiological factors, and not only decreasing human productivity, it's causing diseases and even deaths in extreme case scenarios. So right now, I will just focus on the extreme case scenarios for this one. So, for example, in Asia and Europe, the annual deaths due to high temperatures are very high, and this is combination of factors. For example, high population, demographics of population, the kind of cities they have, kind of infrastructure they have. So these the problem of high urban heat is impacting our society to a great extent. Another important thing to care about this, that this heat related risk, they increase with age. Women, especially older women, they are more impacted by this heat, and this due to various reasons. For example, they are caregivers. So because older women or women in general in most societies are caregivers, so they prioritize health of other people before themselves and end up having these the heat related solutions very late as compared to other people. Menopause and hormonal changes also impact the body and may increase the susceptibility to heat related diseases. Reduced autonomy, especially women or older women, they don't have financial autonomy or physical autonomy. They rely on their family members to get access to medicine or hospitals or any heat related solution. So all these factors put older women at higher risk of heat related health issues. So there are many solutions that are being proposed for urban heat islands, and some of them are through payments, because payments, they cover up to 40 to 50% area in a city. So through them, we can have impact on urban heat. So one of the most popular one is reflective payments. Reflective payments are just lighter pigments, lighter in the color. So when sunlight falls on them, they have increased reflected solar radiation. And due to that, they remain cooler. They don't absorb that much heat, and they cool surrounding areas also. Uh, Moving on from reflective payment, there are some smart payments like thermochromic payments. These are chemically engineered payments which are reflective only at certain high temperatures. So their cooling effect lies only during summers. In winter, they don't have any cooling. Similarly, energy storage payments, they have certain materials which can store energy at very high density inside the payments and keep payments cooler. So this is an example of high reflective pavement. This is, as you can see, this is lighter in the color as compared to typical pavement. So right now it's not, it's being used as pilot projects. It hasn't been applied on a large scale, but we are getting good results wherever they're applied. For example, in Athens, up to 7.5 degrees Celsius reduction in surface temperature was observed. In Phoenix, it was 6.7 degrees Celsius. In Los Angeles, an average of 5.5 degrees Celsius reduction in surface temperature were observed due to these payments. So let me just talk about my work in cool concrete. So for my PhD, I'm working on climate-specific thermochromic and PCM pavements. So these pavements are tailored to specific climate. As we know across the world, we have different climatic regions, and we may not need cooling all across the year. We may need only in the summer or in certain season or only during the day, not during the night. So to comply with these needs, these materials are being developed. I've worked on their 1D and 3D simulation. So based on this simulation, I can uh, predict their behavior along so many years, also along so many seasons, at day, at night, at afternoon. So just to get a comprehensive overview how these payments will behave if they get actually implemented in a real city. And during my time, I've come across different women who are contributing to UHI mitigation in different ways. So this first picture is from Arizona State University. This is Professor Irene Middle. She has done excellent work in research for field investigation of these cool payments. She has inspired a lot of us. Other way women are contributing is collecting data for heat mapping campaigns. So they are given sensors and they take these sensors to different areas of city and record temperature, relative humidity, and other kind of data. And this helps to create the database for urban heat. Other way women are engaging in UHM mitigation is just engaging with community, asking about how heat is impacting them, what needs they have, and how we can have heat mitigation, but tailored to the need of the community that's present there. So women are working for UHI mitigation in different ways, and uh, building upon that, like I've realized that how important is women participation in STEM, and also how important is STEM in for women in general. So when we talk about STEM, it gives us so many tools. For example, planning out and carrying out investigation, analyzing and interpreting data, using computational thinking, designing solution, engaging in argument from evidence, obtaining and communicating information, asking questions, developing, defining problems, developing models. So all these skills are very important from problem solving in real world scenarios like climate science or poverty or deforestation. And when women learn these skills, they get empowered and they can contribute more to society, more in front of in technological aspects of our progress can be impacted if if women engage more in STEM. And when women engage more in STEM, there is democratization of knowledge and more community engagement is there. It means that when more women are involved, the science is not confined for solutions of like certain group of society. It's science is being used for a greater community, for community development, and for a broader range of issues. And women bring diverse perspectives for innovative problem solving. Uh, for like for all these problems like climate issues, urban heat, we need perspective for people who are actually being affected and whose lives depend on it. So women as important part of society, they can bring diverse perspective and also bring diverse solutions to these problems. But unfortunately, women in STEM are still underrepresented, and even if when they are in STEM, they leave this field after like a good portion of women leave this field after some time. So based on this, based on my personal experience, I have certain like point of view that I want to talk about. Like it's only depends upon how my journey has been in field of STEM. So first of all, how we encourage women participation in STEM. Growing up, I didn't have mentorship. I didn't have local community in which science fairs were organized, or there were a community for young women to talk about science or think about how they can excel in field of science. I think that's one of the most important resource we can give to young girls. Other thing I experienced is women in general in many societies are not encouraged to take risk or to be just curious and do experimentation. We are expected to follow a straight path, and that's what's encouraged. So I think that need to be changed. Like we need to encourage young girls to be more risk takers, challenge stereotypes, the gendered language, the kind of stuff that boys are expected to, girls are expected to do same different things. We have to work hard to challenge these stereotypes and help young girls believe that uh, what they can do doesn't depend upon their gender. Other thing is how we can thrive in STEM, because once we are in STEM, it's not still that easy because of the social hierarchies that are outside of STEM that are also in the STEM also. So first of all, we need to own our expertise, put ourselves out there, talk about our work, and advocate for our knowledge. Creating community, building mentorship is always important just to have resources, community to talk. Advocate for family friendly workplace policies because unfortunately the family responsibilities fall disproportionately on women, so we need support on that side. Other one of the most important thing is push for representation in leadership. We need to be in decision making realm of STEM. So we need to be in the STEM, but like women need to be more and more in decision making capabilities so we can actually influence the progress and future of STEM. So before I end this presentation, I want to leave you with this quote from Kalpana Chawla. She was India's first female astronaut, and her words were, "The path from dreams to success does exist. May you have vision to find it, courage to get on it, and the perseverance to following it. Wishing you great journey." So I think she summarized it really well as a journey of women in STEM. Thank you, everyone. You can reach me at Richa Bhardwaj at CA. And like you can talk, like I can talk about urban heat islands, 3D printed concrete, anything. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So,
Thank you.
thank you. Very interesting. I didn't monitor the chat. I'm not sure. Should I monitor the chat, Denise, or will you? Is there any questions?
Yeah, I'm happy to keep an eye on the
Sure, perfect.
Q&A. We do have a question from the audience. Chair, can you see the Q&A, or would you like me to read out the question?
Hi, Denise. I cannot see the question.
No,
It's
that's
Me
no
neither.
problem.
yeah,
No
yeah.
problem at
There's
all. That's why I'm here. So
Mhm,
so one of our audience members, I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. It's Motilal Pula
mhm,
has asked that they always thought that the vegetation cover absorbs
mhm.
heat by principle, and they ask, how does vegetation cover increase net heat in an environment? So definitely related to your presentation.
So thing is, vegetation, it doesn't increase net heat in the environment. Uh, it absorbs solar radiation and also evapotranspiration. So when photosynthesis occurs and evapotranspiration occurs, it causes net cooling in the environment. So overall impact of vegetation in its surrounding is lowering of surroundings temperature. I hope that helps.
Hopefully that answers the question. If you did have a follow-up, then by all means do add that in. But we've got no more questions from the audience as yet, Chair. So
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So if there's no further question, may we move to the next speaker, which is me. I think I've been introduced enough. So let me just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Great. So to be honest, I wasn't sure to what extent I used to go into detail, and I didn't want to turn this opportunity into a scientific conference because we do the sciencey stuff elsewhere. So I just wanted kind of to draw the attention, because today is the Women in Engineering Day, that how we can make a difference as women on top of, being scientists. So it's not as scientific as the other colleagues here, is more like a conceptual presentation. So I talk about engineering uncertainty, women leading risk management and humanitarian logistics in time of crisis. So imagine a field hospital in Lebanon or any other crisis situation, a tented field hospital on the outskirts of a city. It's aftermath of a disaster, suppliers are delayed, roads are blocked, power is intermittent. The logistic team, led by a female engineer from a humanitarian organization, is making a split-second decision about routing emergency aid using mobile data inputs and historical risk models. This isn't fiction, it's one of many stories from the front line of humanitarian logistics. And today I want to talk to you about how engineering and uncertainty collide and how women are leading the response. Why this matters? Because we live in an era of compound crisis, pandemics, war, climate disaster, mass displacement, you name it. These are messy, overlapping, fast-moving events, and they demand systems that are agile, data-informed, inclusive, and resilient. At the heart of those systems, we have humanitarian logistics and risk engineers, which are human, who can make life-saving decisions under extreme pressures. The roles of risk management in crisis engineering is threefold. Basically, risk management isn't just probability equations on paper. In crisis response, it's about prioritizing limited resources, managing uncertainty with partial information, balancing speed with safety, avoiding cascading failure. We use quantitative models normally in this decision making. We use Monte Carlo simulation, scenario planning, network optimization, and predictive analysis to manage those risks. But of course, those tools are not enough alone. We need to, as a human, intervene. And a lot of these decisions are not, crystal clear. It's the people behind the tools, the ethics, the awareness, the leadership that defines impact. So we approach this problem with kind of subjective minds, because human being is subjective, and when we have to make decision about human, cannot detach emotion fully from it. From algorithm to airdrops, engineering meets humanity. So let's give an example from my own research. In our PREDIS model, which is a predictive model for disaster response configuration, we use historical disaster data, we use rule-based clustering, we use real-time logistic flows to help responders predict the human impact of natural disasters and pre-position resources. But what made the project powerful wasn't just the math. It was the inclusive interdisciplinary approach, bringing together engineers, data scientists, sociologists, and gender specialists. Together, we engineer collaboration is methods and ethos. The hashtag they use, Together we Engineer, isn't just a slogan. It reflects a philosophy that complex problems demand shared solution. In humanitarian logistics, that looks like engineers working with communities, not on the community. Logistic expert co-designing with field medics. Women leading cross-sectoral teams, often in cultures where their authority is questioned. I've witnessed how female-led collaboration shift priorities from efficiency-only models to people-centered design, where safety, dignity, and long-term recovery are baked into logistics planning. The gender gap in engineering risk fields means that we need to look at the numbers. As Denise also mentioned, only around 16% of UK engineers are women. In humanitarian operation, logistics and risk roles remain male-dominated. You need to be in the risk management conference, either scientific or practitioners, to see what percentage of, it's like the room is filled with men. It's like often I'm the only or in the minority women in the room, which is not acceptable. leadership positions, even fewer. Yet when the women are present, especially from local communities, we see more contextualized, sustainable, and ethical decision-making. What women bring to risk engineering is, from my own work and that of peers across the sector, I see 5 recurring strengths in female leadership: collaborative decision-making, high tolerance for ambiguity, ethical sensitivity in trade-off, resilience under pressure, and commitment to equity in design. Because we are women, we are kind of conditioned from the childhood, from the age of 5, I guess, to be more empathetic, to be taking care of the others around us, to be equitable. And that reflects when we make decisions further in life, when we are like in our 40s, 50s, and we are in a leadership position. That shows that we are more committed to these values. These are not safe skills. These are survival skills we learned, which is very useful in high-risk engineering environments. I think we all experienced COVID-19. We remember it still. It's still fresh wound. So Supply Chain in West Africa, during the pandemic, we worked with multidisciplinary teams analyzing disrupted supply chain in West Africa. One of the regional leads, a young female engineer, redesigned a distribution model for PPE using local data, using WhatsApp, communicated trees, and historical disease spread patterns. Her model shortened delivery times by 42%, reduced waste, and rebalanced supply towards underserved rural zones. That's what happens when engineering meets empathy. Inclusive engineering normally comes at the better outcomes. The World Bank and UNDP now cite gender inclusive teams as a stronger predictor of project success in emergency response than ever budget or technology access. Why? Because risk is not gender neutral. Women and marginalized communities experience crisis differently, and inclusive engineering reflects that in its design and response. The limits of the model, however, let's be honest, is that the models can only take so far. Data can be biased, algorithm can overlook the informal, optimization can clash with equity. This is why diverse human leadership is essential. We need engineers who ask ethical questions, challenge assumptions, and bring lived experiences into the spreadsheet. Towards an ethic of engineering uncertainty, what we do, we train engineers in uncertainty, not just to manage it, but to design for it. Mainstream gender-sensitive risk approaches, not as afterthoughts, but as foundation. We can mentor and fund women in logistics and risk, especially in Global South. We can embed collaborative methods across research, response, and recovery. The final reflection is, leadership is not just a role, it's a stance. To lead in these domains is not to have all the answers. It is to ask better questions. It is to hold space for complexity, contradiction, and compromise. It is to engineer with humility. So thank you again for joining me in this conversation. Let's engineer uncertainty together with courage, compassion, and inclusion. And by that, I welcome questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rai. There hasn't been any questions added to the Q&A. However, if anyone in our audience would like to ask a question, I can let you off mute if you want to ask live, or perhaps maybe even one of our fellow panelists might have a question for you. But thank you so much for that presentation. I thought it's actually a very good companion piece, I think, looking at the kind of, like you said, the science and the engineering, the technical presentation backed up with the further illustration and some of the statistics that really do demonstrate. And as I think Richa introduced a little and you've compounded, is that when engineering, science, technology is inclusive, it actually benefits all, and we exclude communities or marginalized groups at our disadvantage, really, and it's in the betterment of us all to do that. So I am conscious, obviously, we've got quite a big panel as well, but if anyone does want to ask a question, please do either raise your hand or add it to the Q&A. I will hand back to our chair for proceedings. Thank you for multitasking as a speaker and the chair today, Sara.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're used to that as a women again, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I would like to invite the next speaker then, please. Miss Mujahida Ameenah Sharif. She's a registered agricultural and biosystems engineer from Department of Agricultural and Biosystem Engineering at Mindanao State University, and her presentation is about Muslim Mirana women in engineering. Thank you, Mujahida. Please.
Okay, so uh, to each and everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. But it's almost 11 o'clock here in my place, here in Marawi. So it's good evening. But I will greet you with the universal greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May peace be upon us all. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yes. Um, to my fellow women engineers, mabuhay po. Uh, my topic for today is about Muslim Rana women in engineering. And I am a faculty member at the College of Engineering in Mindanao State University. Okay, let me start my slide with this figure. I hope you can clearly see it, even if you don't have a good weather here in Marawi. Can you see the figure? Okay,
Yes.
yes, thank you, thank you. I just want, I just want to know if I can be heard, because that's a challenge. That's a challenge when you do things online, because it seems like you're talking to yourself only.
No, we can
Okay,
hear
so
you. We can hear you. Just don't want to interrupt you.
yes.
Please go ahead.
Yes, so I want to start my lecture, my presentation with this hadith. Seeking knowledge is a duty upon every Muslim. So not necessarily Muslim, but all human being. So regardless of the gender, it's an obligation for us to upgrade and update every now and then. Okay, so for this presentation, since I may have a different kind of challenges, I will be defining first some of Ranao terms, and then background on Muslim Ranao women and their education. So I know, since, as mentioned earlier by other speakers, there are so many challenges faced by the lady engineers. And here in my place, we have a different version as well, but of course, similar. And then to give clarity of what I will be talking about, I will start with what I really have. Of course, my personal journey as a Mrana woman in the field of engineering. And then I focus with one certain advocacy wherein uh, still in the process of learning more, and how it becomes a passion, an interest, involvement, and in a way, an obligation. And what are my personal learnings? First, the definition of my group and my tribe, and who I am. First is, okay, I hope you don't mind. I'll just define quickly the different terms, because I'll be using it every now and then with in the next slides. So first is Bangsamoro. It refers to the 13 ethno-linguistic groups indigenous to Mindanao who adopted Islam as a way of life. Muslim and Moro, interchangeable to refer to the various groups, but actually they are different. They are different terms. Then Muslim, as we all know, is a universal. It's a universal religious identity distinct to the Islamized people of Mindanao and Sulu. So Mindanao is the southern part of the Philippines, and as you can see in the map on the right side, there are 13 Moro ethno-linguistic groups, wherein one of the 13 is the Maranao, where I belong. So literally, it means people of the lake, and it refers to those who reside in their traditional lands around the Lake Lanao in the Bukidnon Lanao Plateau. And then one of the largest ethno-linguistic groups is the Bangsa-Moro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. So it means even if my group is one of the 13 ethno-linguistic groups, it's one of the major among the minor groups here in the Philippines. And my area is 135 square miles in area and is 2,300 feet above sea level. And then considered as a Muslim cultural group in Mindanao, and our group strictly adheres to cultural laws and traditional governance. So in the challenges that every now and then we keep on facing is, aside from the technical aspect of being an engineer, there are also so many behavioral aspects that we have to consider package deal. Okay, so background on Muslim Marana women and their education. So I will start with the then and now. So first is my area is known in a way with the Moro problem or conflict in Mindanao, and as a result, it has resulted to the following vicious cycle of injustice, conflict, poverty, and inequality for generations. Also, something more common for us women, stereotyping, prejudices, discrimination, and actually different forms of discrimination in different levels. And also, as a result, on Muslim Marana women, educationally, we lag behind. So, like what I said earlier, we have different levels of discrimination. So, aside from what is common to all of us internationally, and then national, regional, and local in few cases. So yes, even in my country, when we go to Manila, for instance, the capital of the country, in some instances, we still feel strange. But Alhamdulillah, with the education, uh, we get to we get to uh, be understood. So with this scenario, uh, slowly we get to see the solutions, because we know that uh, um, identifying the issues means it's halfway solved, right? So now slowly we are catching up. So awareness, of course, that is very important. The awareness and correction of misconceptions of Muslim women. So one of the best solutions, of course, is education, and not necessarily on the four corners of the room, because we know traveling, interaction, immersion with other groups is still considered a form of education. So uh, having these common misconceptions about women and Islam are the following. First is men are superior to women in Islam. Actually, men and women have distinct tasks, so definitely men are not superior with the women. The next misconceptions, men dominate and control women in Islam. Again, it's a misconception, because in many instances, yes, there are instances they're ahead than us, but there are also privileges that we distinctly enjoy as women. More so, uh, in our case, for instance, in my place, uh, at first, it could be a discrimination, but if you try to decipher, it's more of a privilege. And then the misconception number three, women are blameworthy. So when you talk about women, we are always associated with the story, just a sharing the Adam and the wife, and then it it is us the sinners and all. But actually, it's a misconception, because each one of us, what we did, we are liable for that. So anyway, the history, not necessarily that it is still with you up to the present. I'm sorry. Uh, the in a way stereotyping. So that's a misconception. Next is women have no rights. So it's a major misconception, because we enjoy so many privileges and opportunities. And lastly, the wearing of hijab, or the like this, the black head covering I'm wearing. it is not a symbol. It does not symbolize oppression. Uh, because first, in Islam, it is even if it's obligatory, but everything is it should be uh, what do you call this? It should be voluntary. There's no compulsion in religion. What I'm trying to say is, even if it's an obligation, but you have to perform it sincerely. So like we all know, especially women, empowered women, we cannot be forced to do something we don't like, right? So with all these problems and misconceptions, uh, we still uh, we still uh, we still uh, derive with one solution, again with the education. So awareness and letting other people know rather. So there came into picture the establishment of Mindanao State University, the university where I work. And actually, it has so many stories where I can relate to. I can share it with you later. So in this university, there are pioneering batches, women. So we have the civil engineer and lady engineers. So catching up, because as mentioned earlier, we lag behind, right? So Mindanao State University. So it was created under the Republic Act 1387 as amended and authored by the late Senator Dumuco Alonto, who is now known as the father of the university. And then it was formally organized on September 1, 1961, with a non-Muslim educator, Dr. Antonio Isidro, as its founding president. And then it's located in my city, in my place, and it paved the way to many Maranao to finish their school. So the pioneering batch was 282 students. So for us, that is highly significant already. And then classes were handled by 19 faculty members and staff. And what I want to emphasize here is the university is known to be social laboratory for tri people because this will address the issues on the conflict, because this is designed for Muslims, Christians, and Lumads. So that led to uh, the university being called the National Peace University, and that makes the university distinct. So at present, we have 11 constituent universities and colleges strategically located in the different parts of Mindanao, Minsupala regions. So let me tour you a bit of my university. So that's the when you see that, automatically you will think of the Mindanao State University here in my place. So education, academe, and learning. So this is a photo of the pioneering batch when they graduated. And if you notice, the one at the center was the guest speaker, and he happened to be the father of the current Philippine president, Bongbong Marcos. So the former president Ferdinand Marcos was the first guest speaker of the pioneering batch here. So that's how lucky the MSU students were and still are. So I want to share this. Actually, I made sure to give different photos for you to see the different angles of the first lady Maranao president. And she is highly respected. She was highly respected during her time because even in the field of education here in my place, it's still dominated by men. So she was able to to how do you say this, intervene in her very in her very own Marana ways. And also the first lady governor in Lanao del Sur, the province of my province, is also Lady Maranao, Princess Tarhata Alonto Lukman. And one of the famous lines she said is, "It is your integrity has strong roots. It's shown not be blown down so easily." So she's very because my tribe is very clannish, and we are also very particular with the pride and all other significant things as well. So some photos of lady significant lady women professionals who contributed significantly in the academe. So this also they are um, when they took the bar exams, they were top notchers during their time. So Lady Mranao as well. This one, they are the women leaders at the forefront of MSU, Mindanao State University, my place. So um, uh, chancellors and officials. So my personal journey as a Amrana woman. So I was supposed to mention this in my disclaimer that I will flood you with photos, but I will assure you that quickly I will just share my personal journey because I think I can clearly share my stories through this. So my engineering adventure. So what makes my story, I think what makes my story unique is can be shown in these photos. So just like anyone else, I have undergone different processes to come up with a certain goal. So at first, I really wanted to become a doctor of medicine. But things don't turn out the way planned. And I believe that uh, the God has better plans. So I'm okay with that. As I'm run now, I'm okay with that. So actually, at a very young age, it is still evident because in my place, as Muslims, we are not allowed to play dolls. So these are the toys we are allowed to play during those days. So yeah. So engineer. So that's a trace that I could be an engineer in the future. So there are traces. So this is a picture of my place, the campus, and then overlooking the sleeping lady. So why did I choose these different logos? You see, 5 logos. All my life, since kinder, elementary, high school, and college, I finished all those things in Mindanao State University. So I could say I'm a bona fide MSU1. But my being adventurous, of course, is there. So there are so many limitations in my culture. But anyway, it's how I have this because my orientation at home is very healthy and positive. So I'm used to seeing things on a positive angle. So just like this photo, instead of seeing the negative aspect, I look at the positive one. So same angle all the time, but it's how you see things again. So this is the College of Engineering where I finished also, and now where I am working as a faculty member. But things change, even if I was born and raised in Marawi City. Things changed when I started exploring, and I had my on-job training at the International Rice Research Institute. So it broadened my horizons. And when because here in the Philippines, we have to take board exams. And since I didn't have female companions, I joined Christian groups. So they introduced me what Christianity is. So that's a very significant learning for me to survive in this profession. So broadening the horizons more, I get the chance to explore with my fellow Bangsamoro people. So this congressional internship for young Muslim leaders, we got the chance to work with the congressman uh, at the lower house and the upper house. So more on the politics aspect. And after that, more on fun, but still learning as Philippine Youth Ambassadors. I was also chosen to represent my region for this activity. And then also Maranaos like me, they were once representatives also. But things change when Marawi siege happened in my place. So no matter how I wanted to explore, something struck me and it made me realize more that there's no place like home. So at the center, that's our very home. So if you at the ground zero, at the very zero, that's our place. But actually, uh, I believe that in every circumstances there are opportunities, and we don't have a choice but to move forward, right? So there. So we can start with what we have. And this one, I had this. This is a very significant landmark in my place. This used to be this is Marawi or the Dansalan. It used to be the original reference point of all roads in Mindanao. So that's a challenge for us Maranaos because before our place is more significant. So that has to be introduced to the new generations. So anyway, it's how you perceive things again. So I really like these photos because it could simplify what I'm trying to point out. So starting from scratch, so I went back to, at first I really wanted to explore, go abroad, explore my being an engineer in capital of other countries. But there's no place like home. So I went back to Mindanao State University, and this time more determined to serve my people. So here I explore, and then it gave me more chances to explore and then know my culture more. And then it's my first time to roam around the different municipalities of my area. And these are the women behind the Maranao Cultural Heritage Center. So they play a very significant role as well. So these are the different activities that helped us uh, move forward with what happened. Actually, it happened years ago already, 2017, but it's still, it's still, it's anyway, it still gives us that um, it makes us feel more challenged with what we're doing and what we are supposed to do. So fundamental of peace education, the efforts of the Mindanao State University, and with the limited time, I think I will. Uh, so this one are the efforts for us to better understand the different conflicts, the conflict, the misunderstood religion, the misunderstood group in my area. So Alhamdulillah, there is Mindanao State University. And again, it still boils down to one thing, that the education is one of the major solutions in addressing these issues. So we have all this. Again, it has something to do with the education, both actually for Muslims and non-Muslims. And it doesn't, it doesn't recognize different categories. No, actually the same. It's still education. So rich, poor, and all those things. So this group of people, they influenced me to be more firm with serving my people. And I want to move forward with the passion that I think I want to share with you because it's a convergence for all of us. Here, these are the different researches we are involved with. And just recently, we had the group of deans. And I want to emphasize this because there are almost 20 deans, but majority of them are women. And our dean from the College of Engineering is also a women engineer. So I want to share what has been happening, what have we been doing at the College of Engineering, and how we can survive even if we are women engineers. So of course, we can still help in improving the engineering education there. So improving again and directly communicating with, of course, interacting with the students. And then these are the different projects of the faculty members. And if you notice, women are involved. Yes, so I will just scroll down because just showing the photos, it already shares stories. So this is my department, Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering. And the most challenging part right now is one of us is a chancellor in one of the campuses, and the one in the formal barong is now the OIC president of the Mindanao State University. So that's a challenge for all of us. So again, we try to equip our students with what it is to be a real engineer, not be overtaken by events. So halal in engineering. So how did I come up with this? Of course, this is something very famous to us. So I have undergone, of course, this process. And what really bothers me that I would like to see change in my area. So, like what I said earlier, problems are just opportunities for design in disguise. So instead of being disappointed, frustrated, and all. I want to see that as an opportunity and do my part. So I think through halal in engineering, I can do that. So these are the important things we need to know about engineering. Halal in engineering rather. The halal principles apply to materials, systems, ethics, and environmental safety. So there's again a misconception that this concept, the word halal, is exclusive for Muslims. Where in fact, actually, when you talk about safety and quality, it's a universal concern. So for us engineers, this is our concern when it comes to halal. So halal materials and manufacturing, design and product development, civil and structural engineering, halal logistics and supply chain. So from the first part up to the last part, it has to be halal or assured that it has undergone the safe and of high quality that is within the standards of us engineers. And then biomedical and biosystems engineering, environmental engineering, and these are the guiding principles. Okay, so questions. These are the common questions. Is halal exclusive to Muslims only? No, it's for everyone. And then does halal cover foods and beverages only? No, it covers a lot of things, especially as engineers, we have a special tasks for that. And then can non-Muslims eat halal food? Yes, of course. And then for Muslims, does consuming halal food or observing halal services make you religious? Definitely no. And again, it's a universal
Sorry to
concern.
interrupt, Doctor,
Yes,
just to give you a time
yes,
notice.
yes.
I think.
I'm sorry. I will stop sharing the. Yes, okay. Yes.
If you can just, conclude in one slide,
Yes.
you can have a conclusion. Yeah.
Yes. In conclusion, yes, in conclusion, uh, yes. Yes, in conclusion, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Don't stress about it.
Okay, as a conclusion, it's a universal halal in engineering. Halal in engineering is a major concern. It's inclusive and it's a convergence to all professions, especially as engineers, because, like for instance, the traceability, for instance, and for the integrity of the process, for instance, from farm to fork, and with this, and going back to being women in the field of male-dominated engineering. What I want to conclude is we are here not to compete with them, but to complete. And regardless of the profession, regardless of the gender, together we engineer. And may all this sharing be beneficial to all of us, and we be best among the learners rather, and efficient and effective engineers. And we are here not to compete, but to complement. Together we engineer, and that's all. Thank you very much. Happy.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Is there any question? I don't see anything in the chat, but is there any question?
I don't see any questions, Chair.
Perfect. Okay, so just very interesting, actually, just as one of the attendees said, it's very interesting to see how different institutions do the same thing across the world. And yeah, you mentioned inclusivity, which is very important, and hopefully we all can find an angle to be more inclusive in our research and practice. Thank you so much, Mujahida. Should we go back to Teeranoot then? Teeranoot, are you here?
Hi, I'm back.
Are you ready? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So with no further ado, let's move on to Teeranoot Chan from Department of Mechanical Engineering, King Mongkut University of Technology, from flexibility to intelligence, advancement in soft robotics. Thank you.
Can you see my slide?
Yes,
at
we
the
can.
moment? Okay. Okay, so thank you for the introductions, and I'm Teeranoot Chanthasopeephan, and I'm from Medical Robotics and Biomechanics Lab from King Mongkut University of Technology, Thonburi. So today I would like to share with you some of the impactful work that we are trying to do in our lab. So my title, the title of my talk is From Flexibility to Intelligence, Advancement in Soft Robotics. So first, let's talk a little bit about what is embodied artificial intelligence or embodied AI. Basically, all of us have been heard about like AI or artificial intelligence lately, especially when we have ChatGPT, machine learning, computer visions, and language technologies. And now we would like to incorporate AI with a physical hardware, in our case, physical robot. So in our case, we call it embodied intelligence, which together hardware and AI will work together and make it smarter. So this is nothing new. We have seen some of the example in autonomous vehicles, such as the self-driving car, and some of the smart system when we have the wearable devices, which has the sensor, and we can use the sensor to get information from the user and use AI to interpret the data and make the things useful for personal health. So from that, in our lab, we work on control of fluid-driven origami-inspired artificial muscles. So together with our student for this project is by Nontapat, we work to build a lower limb exoskeleton, which is actuated by what we call foam or fluid-driven artificial muscle, which you see in this figure in the orange part. So this lower limb exoskeleton is used for knee rehabilitations, and the device is driven by air. So we basically control the air in and out of the bags in the plastic bag right here. And we use that in order to change from the conventional motors to foam, because it can be lighter, so user can use it at home, and it's more practical for a user because with the air it's more like soft and can move like a human body motions rather than having a rigid body motion. So these are the figures that the exoskeleton is in motions during the extension of the knee. And the challenge part of this is how we control the motion of this. So like I mentioned before, the device is actually driven by air. So if we imagine sucking air out of this plastic bag, the orange part right here, and pumping the air in and out to create the motions of the exoskeleton, that the control part is very challenging. So we propose the method which is use AI or neural network to control with the conventional method called hybrid admittance control. So with this control, we were able to work with the signal from the muscle, human muscle, which is EMG, to create the motions of the legs, the exoskeletons. And this is one of the work that we did in our lab. So for this project, we were able to control the system. We build the device, we design and come up with the device and be able to control. And right now we are in the stage at which we want to test it with the user. So we are looking for the person with knee problems and try to test it with the real user at the moment. And another example that I would like to present and share with you guys is the development of a 3D printed natural rubber tactile sensor and apply that for object identification. So as you may know, like we in Thailand, we have a lot of rubber, natural rubber in the southern part of Thailand. So we want to come up with something which is sustainable. And imagine with the current sensors technology in the market, it made of electronic part, it made of plastic, it made of polymer. And so we want to change it to natural rubber. So we use natural rubber in our case to cast with the carbon black, which is the conductive material. And with that, we were able to do printing, 3D printing of the natural rubber, and along with casting with two methods of fabrication, we were able to do the experiment which to characterize the sensor that we made, do the circuit design, and we build multiple array, analyze, and use that information from the sensor to, along with AI, to interpret the data or the result that read from the sensor itself. And these are the material that we got from casting and printing of the natural rubber with the conductive material inside. So in our case, we do material characterization, such as press and release tests, cycle tests, and hold tests, and repeating tests for 100 cycles to see whether it still sends the same signal over time. And finally, we were able to come with a conclusion that with the two fabrication method, the differences between these two and the stabilities and recovery, repeatability, sensitivity, and application suitability is a lot better in terms of printed material. And we also do scanning electron microscope or SAM to see what the difference between the printed sample and the cast sample and see how it's different, which in this case, we see that in terms of casting method, a lot of conductive material are sinking underneath at the bottom part. So it's not uniformly distributed among the rubber itself. So we got back signal of it compared to when we have a printed sample, which we were able to get the uniform signal out of it. So in that
Sorry
case,
to interrupt. Just we have 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes.
Yeah, right. We have a couple more. Sorry. And we make the sensor out of 4 sensor point and try to obtain the signal of this. And so we were able to use AI to interpret the data from these 4 sensors. So these are the work that I would like to share with you guys today. And any questions from the audience? It's a little bit of technical. It's very technical, so I'm not sure what today's conference will be like. But I hope I get a chance to share with you the work we think it's kind of impactful work or research that we did in our lab. And hopefully we, as a woman in engineer, we can contribute some part through engineering works. Thank you. If not, I would like to pass back to the chair of the session.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So any question? I don't see anything in the chat. No?
No, there's no Q&A. Sorry, excuse me.
Great. Great. So it's very interesting. Very interesting subject. It's very good to see how everyone work in different fields. Really encouraging. Thank you so much. And last but not least, I would like to invite Arathyram Sasikala from University of Bradford, working on engineering a better future, inclusive innovation through interdisciplinary collaboration. I like how this keyword is just coming up all of, in all presentation, inclusiveness and interdisciplinary. Please.
Thank you, Sara, for the kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening. First of all, happy International Women Engineering Day. I would like to thank the Women Engineering Society and the WTUN for this opportunity to be part of this global event. I'm happy to be here today to share my journey and reflections on what it means to engineer a better, more inclusive future. To start with, I would like to take you back to my school days. I was born and brought up in India. When I was in 10th grade, India successfully launched its communication satellite. That moment had a profound impact on me. And from then on, I dreamed of becoming a rocket scientist at ISRO, that is one of India's national space agency, similar to NASA for America. To pursue that dream, my teachers advised me to study physics, so I did. I went on to complete both my bachelor's and master's degree in physics, all with the goal of one day joining at ISRO as a rocket scientist. But along the way, my interest took an unexpected turn. At the end of my master's degree, I developed a deep interest in climate change modeling. That curiosity led me to pursue an interdisciplinary MPhil in ecological informatics. That was a unique program that combined ecology, data science, and modeling. During that time, I was awarded the prestigious DAT scholarship, which gave me the opportunity to pursue my research, my 6 months MPhil research at an institute in Germany. I still remember boarding that flight. I was excited about the new opportunity, but deep down, I felt a quiet sadness. It felt like I was walking away from my childhood dream. I knew that my career was about to take a completely different direction, and I thought I would never join ISRO. But then something unexpected happened. I came across an advertisement. ISRO was recruiting research fellows for a project under India's National Action Plan on Climate Change. It felt like a calling. I applied, returned to India, and joined ISRO. As Paulo Coelho said, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. It was true for me. I was very excited, and within the first 6 months, I even registered for PhD. But honestly, something was missing. I couldn't see the bigger picture in my work. I wanted to contribute to something more transformative, so I began exploring again, reading, networking, and staying curious. One day I came across a review article on magnetic nanoparticles for cancer treatment, and it completely changed my perspective. It sparked a new passion. I wrote a PhD proposal based on the review article and started applying for scholarship to shift my research direction. Before finishing 2 years at ISRO, I received the prestigious Brain Korea 21 Plus scholarship and to start my PhD at the Jeonbuk National University, South Korea. This experience taught me that it is okay to change your ambition and passion. You are not losing your direction, you are evolving. Growing comes from staying open, and success often follows you when you choose to pursue what truly drives you. Once I found a PhD topic that truly interested me, I became fully focused on my work. From my second year onwards, I committed myself to building an academic career and began planning for it strategically. I started publishing my research, attending conferences.
Sorry to interrupt. I just saw the note that the meeting ends in 5 minutes, Denise. Would that automatically end the meeting, or can we stay on if it's?
No, it should carry on after that. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's just an automatic reminder.
Sure, thank you. Sorry.
So I started publishing my research, attending conferences, and building both national and international collaborations. By the third year onwards, I started applying for research funding. This gave me a solid understanding of what exactly the engineering funding landscape looked like. So soon after completing my PhD, I was awarded a 3-year early career research grant where I was a principal investigator from the National Research Foundation of Korea, which was a major milestone in my journey. During this time, I supervised 2 master students and co-supervised a PhD student. I'm proud to share that all of them have gone on to secure strong position in both academia and industry. One of the key milestones was the successful patenting of our technology, that is an implantable anti-cancer device, which was recently licensed to a biotech startup company in Korea. But being a PI came with lots of challenges, especially in a country like South Korea. In the very first year itself, I realized how difficult it was to manage funding and build sustainable academic career in South Korea. This is mainly because the limited institutional support and the language barrier. That is when I started planning to relocate to the UK to continue my research and academic journey, mainly because of the open research culture, strong support for early career researchers, and vibrant interdisciplinary ecosystem, especially in healthcare and engineering. Since I enjoy leading my own research project, I was hesitant to take the normal postdoctoral route to come to the UK. So I sought host institution to support my fellowship application, and I applied for the Marie Curie Fellowship with the University of Birmingham as my host. Fortunately, I was successful in securing this award, that is Marie Curie Individual Fellowship. Though the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted parts of the fellowship, the experience proved invaluable. It helped me to secure my first independent academic position at the University of Bradford even before completing the fellowship. Since joining, the multidisciplinary nature of my research and the interdisciplinary collaboration with biologists, engineers, material scientists, and clinicians has helped me secure funding from the EPSRC, Royal Society, WTUN exchange funding to initiate interdisciplinary collaboration with ATU Ireland, the university's EDA strategies like Bradford PhD studentship, Commonwealth PhD studentship, etc. It has allowed me to build a gender balanced and inclusive research team that reflects the values I aim to champion in academia. As part of my leadership development as a woman in engineering, I served as the Deputy Director of Research for a cross-faculty team called ChemBiomat. This role supports the faculty's broader research strategy, that is to EDI strategies and mentorship. I work closely with the Director of Research and the other Deputy Directors to foster cohesive and inclusive research culture, promote interdisciplinary funding opportunities, and strengthen communication across disciplines. This role has enabled me to influence research direction, advocate for EDI in strategy implementation, and build a collaborative environment that encourages grant development and knowledge sharing across disciplines. I was also selected to join the EPSRC Engineering Early Career Forum. Some of you may not know about EPSRC. It is the main UK government agency for funding research and training in engineering and physical science. EPSRC is part of UK Research and Innovation. EPSRC Early Career Forum is a national platform that supports early career researchers across the full breadth of engineering remit. This prestigious 2-year appointment recognizes individuals who are in the process of establishing their independence and have emerging leadership within their field. This role has deepened my understanding of the strategic and international context of engineering research, expand my professional network, and offered a platform to advocate for a greater inclusion and support for underrepresented voices in engineering. This photo has taken from our recent meeting that held at the University of Strathclyde. Both roles, that Deputy Director role and this ECF member role, reflect my commitment to shaping inclusive interdisciplinary research environments and contributing to UK research strategy. As an engineer, we often work behind the scenes, designing solutions, solving problems, advancing technology.
Sorry to interrupt again. Sorry, just 5 more minutes. I have to do this
fine.
because we're already over time. My apologies.
But our work matters most when it truly connects with people. That is why I'm deeply passionate about communicating research to the public and to the patients. I've been actively involved in public engagement through initiatives like European Researchers Network, Pint of Science, and Soapbox Science even. In 2024, I had the privilege of organizing the inaugural Soapbox Science Bradford event right in the heart of the Bradford city, that is Centenary Square. Soapbox Science is a unique platform that brings women scientists and engineers directly to the public. No slides, no podium, just open dialogue, storytelling, and a passion. It was one of the most rewarding experiences of my career. We engaged over 260 audiences, including children, families from underrepresented communities, many of whom had never met a scientist there before. The energy, the questions, and the curiosity, it was truly inspiring. Moments like this reminds me engineering belongs everywhere, not just in labs or papers, but in the hands and minds of the communities we serve. That is why I'm committed to making Soapbox Science Bradford event an annual one, because representation sparks future. As engineers, we don't just solve problems, we shape futures. Engineering with a purpose is about embedding that mindset right from the curriculum design stage. I primarily contribute to the BSc Pharmaceutical and Cosmetic Science program, where this philosophy drives how we structure and deliver learning. At the heart of my approach is a purpose driven focus, aligning our teaching with UN Sustainable Development Goals, upholding ethical responsibility, and striving for global impact. The aim is not just to equip students with technical knowledge, but to empower them to become change makers. We design learning around real world challenges through team based learning, co creation, and strong focus on inclusivity. Students actively engage with the complexities of today's world. Our design approach ties it all together using constructive alignment, a spiral curriculum, and that builds over time, and a challenge led approach. The triangle here captures our philosophy. We bring together purpose, practice, and pedagogy to develop engineers engineers who are technically excellent and socially conscious. That is what it means, engineering with a purpose. When we imagine an inclusive future in engineering, we are talking about transformation at every level. First is representation. That means more women, more ethnic minorities, and more neurodiverse voices, not just in the lab, but in leadership. Inclusion isn't just about presence, it's about power, visibility, and impact. Then comes systems. We need accessible equipment for all abilities, curricula that reflects diverse experiences and global challenges, and funding models that are flexible and inclusive, supporting career breaks, caregiving, and underrepresented researchers. Culture is the foundation. An inclusive culture listens, it values mentorship, collaboration, and learning from one another. For me personally, inclusion means action. Whether I am working as a researcher, supervisor, mentor, or public engagement lead, I strive to create environments that are collaborative, inclusive, and purpose driven. I design and lead projects that bring together diverse voices, encourage team based thinking, and are grounded in real world impact. Through the Aurora Leadership Program, I've developed tools to empower not only myself but also those I work with, especially early career researchers and underrepresented colleagues. As an active member of our EPSRC Early Career Forum EDA Strategy Development Team, I contribute to shaping strategy and policy that fosters fairness and equality in research culture and beyond. And mentorship, whether through formal schemes or simply being present, has become one of the most meaningful ways for me to pay it forward and help others to thrive. An inclusive future isn't an abstract goal, it is a daily practice, one we can all contribute to. I would like to close with this quote from Marie Curie, a pioneer who paved way for so many of us. This line resonates deeply with me because the path we take in science and engineering, particularly as a woman, is rarely straightforward. Balancing research, leadership, mentorship, and life outside the lab is not always easy, but it is possible. And more importantly, it is worth every time we set up, every time we make space for others, every time we bring our whole selves to the table, we are shaping what leadership in engineering look like. So as we celebrate International Women in Engineering Day, I leave you with this. Let us continue building a world where we don't have to choose between brilliance and balance, where inclusion isn't just a policy, but it should be a practice, and where every voice, every background, every journey is valued. Thank you for listening and for being part of this journey.
Thank you so much. It's very inspiring talk. Thank you. I don't see any questions in the chat. Am I missing it, Denise? Any questions?
No, nothing in the Q&A, Chair.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and for brilliant presentations. Thanks to all our speakers for their insightful, inspiring, and deeply thoughtful contributions. From smart material and soft robotics to humanitarian logistics and inclusive innovation, today we've seen just how wide-reaching and impactful women's work in engineering truly is. We've also been reminded that engineering is not just about solving technical problems, it's about addressing human needs, building resilient communities, and ensuring that the innovations we design reflect the diversity of the world we live in. As we apologies, as we mark International Women in Engineering Day, sorry. Let's take forward the spirit of together we engineer into our everyday practice, supporting each other, championing equity, and continuing to challenge the structure that still limits inclusion in STEM. A special thank you to the WTUN team and Denise especially, and to all of you, our global audience of students, staff, and professionals for taking the time to be here and engage so meaningfully. Let's stay connected, keep the conversations going, and most importantly, keep building a future where everyone can thrive in engineering. Thank you, and goodbye for now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just, somebody has their hand up, I think, actually.
Yes.
Sapna. Sorry, Chair.
Yeah, hi everybody.
Hi.
I'm Sapna. I'm also an engineer. I'm all the way from India. Namaste. So I've been listening to all the wonderful women talking about, and congratulations, firstly, for where they have reached in each of their wonderful careers. I especially empathize. I'm actually a trans woman from India. So I actually very much empathize with whatever Sara was saying regarding like women being soft and they're strong, so much stronger now, and visibility everywhere all over the world, and especially for us in the engineering background. I think you are all the shining lights. As I heard, even I empathize. I mean, I cannot empathize, but with Ameenah, I believe. She was also talking about Muslims, women, how they are also progressing, and the number of misconceptions that were there regarding Muslims in the engineering background space of women. So a very enlightening session from everyone, and especially American. I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. She's from India. So very proud of your achievements. Also in ISRO, I heard. So a wonderful journey of your career, and very inspiring to all other women who are growing up in India, and also for us women. I know it took so many long years for women to reach the pinnacle where they are now, and I hope my community also rises and join hands with you and walk side by side with you. So
thank you so much, Sapna. Thank you so much for joining us and your kind words. I can see everyone is smiling here. Sometimes a recognition all the way from India makes a difference. Thank you. And if there's no further ado, my apologies for not timekeeping and going a bit over time, but I think it's worth it. All the brilliant presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you very much, Jen. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Bye.
Thank you, Denise, as well, for moderating so much.